Join your fellow Starseeds, Lightworkers, and Experiencers at the 2024 Full Disclosure Now Conference, this July 15th to 18th. This conference will be a fun and positively life-changing experience for so many. In addition to 4 days and nights of presentations, there will be special event dinners, dancing, fun time on the beach, UFO night watch tours, film screenings, vendors, and more at the lovely Serrata Beach Resort on St. Pete Beach, Florida. Over 34 Montauk Project survivors, Secret Space Program whistleblowers, ET contactees, and psychic healers will be presenting in the name of the Full Disclosure Movement. The truth must be revealed if we're all to achieve our Star Trek future here and now. Get your event passes and book your stay now at fulldisclosuremovement.org.
Holy crap.
I believe it was 5 separate craft. That's some straight UFO shit right there.
That's when I started seeing all of the lights and the contact that I've been witnessing.
I just kept filming and looking up at the sky, and it just started happening more frequently.
Look, what is that? What is that? What was that?
And Major Hector Quintanilla is now the chief of Project Blue Book. Major Quintanilla, what are the objectives of Project Blue Book?
As I'm standing there, I kind of, it's a very hard feeling to describe. Skinny arms, skinny legs, but I could only see about half of this thing.
It was just an eye-opening experience. There was a ship coming over the house.
It was like a white light sort of thing that we saw. It was coming out of a cloud.
Hi, I'm Heather McLaren, ASDP ufologist from Scotland, and you're watching Alien Strand Podcast with Donald Ledesma.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Alien Strand Podcast. I'm your host, Donald Ledesma, and welcome to today's show. Man, it's going to be a real freaking interesting one. That's for sure. That's going to be a good one. Hey, thank you guys for watching today. I can see all your chats coming through. Everybody's out there chiming in already, and the live chats are greetings. All right, man. Thank you for watching on YouTube right now. We are live on Rumble. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. We are live on Twitch. We are live on X. That's right, X. All right, man. So, thank you guys for watching today. Now, I hope you guys, we were gone for a few days. I wasn't able to do all my stuff over the weekend, but it's okay. We planned on having Mr. Ryan Keaton on today, and we still are. We're going to have him on today here in a minute. But I just want to just thank everybody for watching the middle part 2 that's out on Amazon Prime. All right. So you guys have been out there sharing it, and I really appreciate that, man. From the bottom of my heart, everybody here, my family, everybody involved, everybody that helped put the film together. We thank everybody for help sharing that, because you know what? It's disclosure. That's exactly what it is. You can see that right there. Yep. There it is right there. You can see it right there. All right, guys. So, watch the middle 2. I really highly recommend watch the middle part 1. Go check out the part 1 film first. All right. And then after you watch part 1, it's there on Amazon Prime too. If you don't want commercials and all that, it's on free from Tubi TV. A lot of commercials there, or you can go to our YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe. And, I appreciate it all that everybody's doing out there to try to get Alien Strand out there as much as possible. All right. So please watch the middle part 2 as we continue on moving forward for disclosure and trying to get out as much information out to you guys as much as possible. Today, we're going to have Ryan Keaton on here shortly, and he's going to show some videos, photos, things like that of things he's been catching up in San Antonio, Texas, mind you. San Antonio, that's not even far from me. I'm down here in South Texas, down in Corpus Christi, Texas. But, it's we still see them out here too as well. So, UFOs are out there everywhere for everybody to see. Now, if you're out there, if you're listening on audio or anything like that, please pull over when it's safe to do so. If you see a UFO video, if you're going to take a photo or video, please do it outside the vehicle. Don't do it behind the glass, because we're going to get stains and all that good stuff. And they say, oh, that's a UFO. No, that's a bug splatted on the windshield. Come on, man. No, so we don't want to see that. All right. So just make sure and if you can't, if you got a passenger, give them the phone or the camera. Let them take the video or photo and send it to Alien Strand Disclosure Project, because there's no I in team. We all work together as one. All right. So, and go to asdp-ufo.com. That's where you're going to find, you can report your UFOs everywhere. You can report it to MUFON, whoever you want to report it to, as long as we get the data, man, because the data is the most important part of disclosure, right? Because that's what we need. We need to get as much disclosure out as possible, as far as the data, because that's what we need to have. And if you caught my past podcast, I always talk about, of course, things that have happened in the past, other stories of extraterrestrials, abductions, things like that. Now, just because you don't get abducted does not mean that you don't suffer with the things that come along with after experiencing extraterrestrial craft or anything like that, right? Does not mean that you don't have the side effects. Side effects can trigger any kind of way, right? And that's why it's kind of hard for even some people to watch my films, the second one, especially because it might be a little bit of a trigger for some folks that have had post-traumatic stress because of what they've seen or what they've experienced, or maybe just the fear of what they've seen and don't understand what they're seeing, right? Because that's what it is. It's the complexity of the fear, right? That's what that happens to folks, right? And because we just never know exactly what we're seeing. But and there's other folks out there that like to make the contact, like CE5, my book CE5, Frequencies of Contact, right there. If you get it, go check it out. Download it on Amazon Prime, $3.99. Can't beat it. Anyway, but there's some folks that like to, actually experience a CE5, and it's sort of like a movement now of some of a kind, that where you can be on there and experience that, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be, there with a craft in front of you or an extraterrestrial standing in front of you. You're just going to experience what you don't normally see on a daily basis, by using the meditation, all the protocols that you need to have, right? So, and that's what the CE5 book is. It's a booklet, it's a handbook. It kind of helps you, that guides you through the protocols, and it helps you with the meditation, your mind's clearing your mind, things like that, right? So there's folks that do that want to go look for it, which is fine. That's nothing wrong with that. And I just and it's not easy for people to comprehend exactly what they're seeing in the sky. Some people can, some people can't. It is what it is, right? Some people can handle stress, some people can't, and it doesn't make you a weak person or anything like that. It just it means that there's some people can I guess, like, transcend in a sense, right? To whatever they're witnessing, they can comprehend it just a little bit better than others, right? And then some are like, they get very fearful with it, okay, which is understandable as well. I mean, when I first saw something like that, I was shaking like a leaf, right? Because I didn't understand what I was seeing, but the excitement of it was like, you ever seen those people that just film and the camera's just going everywhere, right? That was me, right? Now it's like I'm pretty good at it. I'm like, oh wow, check that out, right? So that's what I go through now because of the experience. It took a while for me to just kind of transit in my mind of exactly what I was seeing and how I was going to pull that in to where I can understand, okay, wait a minute, there's something beyond that I really need to get through, right? And I did get through it. And fortunately, I did. So, without further ado, without talking about me anymore, let's go ahead and bring on Mr. Ryan Keaton right now, because he's sitting in the background right now. There he is.
How are y'all?
What's going on, my brother?
Another day in paradise.
Thank you again for being on the show today. We appreciate you. It's a lot of people just don't, when you experience something like that, it's hard for them to comprehend exactly what they're saying, how you get it through your thought process, things like that. Now, when we you, how did you kind of figure this out?
I don't think I've figured them out yet. I'm just so used to them now, and I'm seeing them so often. I get kind of, in my head what I think they are, but I don't know what they are. It's just fun going out and hunting them down. But They don't seem to be hiding anymore, so there really isn't much hunting.
Well, yeah, you got a channel. What is it called?
210 UFO on Facebook. I do go live sometimes, depending on the weather. It's not too cloudy, and we do catch quite a bit of stuff on the lives. I still got to go through some. There's some weird stuff I saw the other night. I got to go back through and see if I can get the footage of it and get it all sorted out. But it's one of those things. You got to kind of be patient with it when you watch, because it's not something that happens constantly all the time. We may go 10, 15 minutes BSing, and then all of a sudden it'll start popping off and things will start happening. They'll go away, and then you come back and, off and on like that. But we do see quite a bit on there.
Wow. We're talking about those things happening, and when you start seeing them now, it's hard for people to comprehend. But since we were there, we shot the video. We were able to ourselves, right? That was a weird part. Seeing something like that we saw with you.
And they're all over the place. Just, I don't know where they're coming from, but they've changed so much from when you were here. Like I was telling you earlier, they used to be just over the hill, and now I walk outside, it's a 360 all over the sky. And there's a lot of weird things that have happened, like the diamond things that we'll go into in a little bit. That's something that's kind of like, wait a minute, there's something that looks to be, that's 100 times zoom I took that picture at. So whatever is up there is big, and it's just sitting there. And it's kind of, it gets you thinking, like, first, are we alone in the world, or is it just us? And then you wonder about what they're doing there, because they're there every night in the same spot, and they're not trying to hide anymore. So what's the purpose behind that? I tend to get more questions out than I do get answers. I can't hear you now. I can't hear you. I still can't hear you. Let me see. I can't hear you. You can't hear.
Wow.
There you go. You're kind of going in and out.
Okay. But
I still can't hear you. You're breaking up.
man.
Go figure.
Here, is it better now?
I can hear you now.
Because people were hearing an echo in the background.
See, now I can hear the echo. I didn't hear it earlier.
Well, hell. Let me get out of this real quick. I'm trying to fix this real quick, okay?
Okay.
Give me a second. All right.
That sounds
Can
better.
Can you hear me or no?
Yeah, a little bit of delay, but I can hear you.
Hello.
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, can you still hear the echo?
No, you just got a delay now.
That is crazy.
One of the lives, I don't know. Tasha's in here. She watches me all the time. What was it? A few nights ago, or it must have been 2 weeks ago. One of my lives stopped. Like the people couldn't see it. I was still streaming, but it they couldn't see anything but black.
Yeah. I don't know what's causing this, but maybe it's the Big Brother.
Yeah, maybe. I haven't had black suits at the door yet, so maybe this is the start.
Yeah, because I mean, I was not having any problems, and then all of a sudden, the echo.
Go figure.
This is horrible. Okay. Let me see.
It's funny too now how much Sandra sees stuff now.
Really?
Yeah. She's been seeing quite a bit of stuff. We'll be driving in the car, dusk or right when it gets dark. We'll drive down the road and all of a sudden we'll see white lights appear and disappear out of the sky.
Yeah.
And she thought I was crazy at first. Now I think she's kind of coming around now.
Wow. Yeah, I had some pictures of hers. Man. Hold on.
You sound better now.
Is it echoing? Because I hear it echoing on my end.
I don't hear it much on this end.
No. I think that your sound. Is there any way you can put earbuds?
I thought I had.
I think that's what's happening.
I don't have anything with it. I don't have anything with a mic. I use a Samsung. I'm not an iPhone person.
Okay. Are you on a phone?
Is it echoing? No, I'm on a laptop.
Okay.
You mean use my phone?
Yeah, let's try it on your phone.
Okay.
Go ahead and sign out and come back in.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right, sorry guys. We're just it's coming in on his end. I believe the echo is probably I think what his microphone is feeding through is coming out through his speakers, and you know how it's kind of going in a loop. So I think that's what's happening because you're not getting any echo anymore, right? If you don't if there's no echo, let me know right now if you're not hearing any echo. Um, that way I'll know because I see y'all popping up on screen if there's no echo. All right, just let me know if you hear an echo right now because I'm trying to fix this issue. I guess it was his laptop, maybe, because now I don't hear the echo coming through here. So, which is a good thing. And I think no echo. Okay, good. No echo. That's what we. Yeah. So that's what it was. It was his end. Hopefully, we'll get him back on here in a second. So I'll tell you what. What I'm going to do now that you guys are still watching, I don't want you guys to tune off because he's going to come back here in a minute. But hopefully, we'll get that figured out. I am going to show you guys. There's his 2 minutes of fame, not 2 minutes, but just 2 minutes of the movie, the middle part two. If you have not seen it, this is going to be his version of when he comes on, and hopefully once he signs back in here, after this is done, that you guys will kind of see a little bit of his story, right? If you've never heard of Ryan or of his story, you'll see exactly his whole story on the middle, right? So let me see if I can find it here for you guys, and then I'll get it on. And let me see videos. Come on, man, come on, show it to me, man. I swear, when you don't want this stuff to go bad, it does, and then this happens, right? Crap, but hey, it is what it is, right? Well, what do we do? What do we do? Is it Big Brother? I don't know. Maybe he's messing with us a little bit. Say, hey man, we don't want you to talk about this. Well, we don't want you guys to see this. Maybe not, but I don't know, man. We're just we're gonna kind of go with the Joneses here, just kind of go with it. So here it is. Let me show it to you guys. Here we go.
My name is Ryan Keaton. I live in Northwest San Antonio. I used to be, I'm an Air Force veteran, do garage doors for a living. And it's been pretty crazy. That's why I contacted y'all. So everything started about a year ago. I had a rough 4 years. I'm kind of had a car accident. My dad passed away. My brother committed suicide. I had a friend of mine for over 20 years commit suicide, and then I got into another car accident. So I was pretty down and out. I remember telling my wife that I needed something pretty miraculous to happen. And about 3 or 4 days after I told her that, that's when I started seeing all of the lights and the contact that I've been witnessing. Well, the first time I had seen anything, I was sitting out in the garage. I had walked out into the driveway, and I'd looked out in front of me, and there was a light off in the distance. And I was like, wait, that doesn't look like a star. And I understand that the atmosphere can make stars, twinkle a little bit different with the light, but it looked weird. And as I got my wife to come up, I looked behind me, and the first video I ever shot is when I did it. And there was a light that was sitting about a quarter mile away from my backyard, and it was a white light, but it was floating like a boat in the sea. But
yeah. So Tasha says, just buy the movie like I did. Hey, thank you for purchasing it. I really appreciate it. If you did buy it or rent it, that's Ryan's story, right? And there's a lot more to his story when these things started appearing to him. And when I was talking to him earlier, when you guys were listening, that while we were there filming, and it's part of the film inside of the movie, that we start seeing these orbs start coming at us, right? Me and my son, he was 14 at the time, or 13 or going on 14. This was the first time he ever witnessed anything like this, right? So he had one camera, I had the other camera, and it's strange because by the time these things started coming out, our cameras were not picking up these things. So I had to pick up my cell phone as fast as possible, right? And I was like, man, my lenses are not picking up these UFOs that are up there, right? And we, lo and behold, that's the footage that you got to see, because these things came up to us and it started doing this to us, like real bright, and then it would back off, and then another one did it, and then it backed off, you know. And this is like literally at a freaking high school. We're standing in a high school parking lot there on the west side of is it the west side? I think it is the west side of San Antonio, and right around, you know, the Six Flags further that way towards the other side. You know, we were in that area, and I couldn't believe what we're seeing. I said, hey man, do people see this? Like, you think the people in these houses are seeing these things daily? And they're like, I don't know, man. I mean, if they are, they're not, you know, acknowledging them, what these things are, right? And that way, you know, it's he's trying to explain this, and we check the apps. He has this app that he pays for you know, for flights, airplanes, things like that. We just wanted to make sure that it's not on a helicopter, it's not any kind of training things that are they're flying by a base around in that area. And nothing, man, nothing's coming up on radar, nothing, right? And then these things start coming over his house, right? Like literally over his house, which we were maybe about a mile away or less than a mile away. And he catches these things daily, and he starts showing these on his live feed. So if you go look for him on Facebook, he does have a live feed there that you can actually find him there, and you can watch these things as it's happening, like daily, man, like every freaking day. That's why I wanted him to be on the show today, because I want him to explain these things to you a little bit better, because he gets to see these things. You know, oh yeah, he's back on. So let's go ahead and get him back on. There you.
The phone didn't work. It keeps taking me to the app, and it won't give me the. If you go to 210 UFO, see if you can invite me on Rumble.
Oh, okay.
Because when I click on the link, it wouldn't take me in Rumble to hear on the phone in the app.
Really?
Yeah, it was strange.
Wow. I think we got that echo. Is so. Yeah, I can hear the echo.
Let me see if I can. Let me move.
You don't have any headphones?
I don't.
Okay.
And I'm like in my back office, a little echoey in here. Let me see.
I don't know if it's. Yeah, I still hear it.
You still hear it?
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's like I've never had this problem in a long time.
Go figure.
So let me see. I'm going to mute you for a second.
Okay.
Hello, test. Okay, I'm sure. Okay, there's no echo. Oh, there is.
Is there still an echo?
Yeah. It unmuted you. Well, I don't think there's much we can do unless you could sign in with your phone.
I'm in with my phone. You just got to send me the link.
Oh, to your phone?
Yeah, because.
Oh, shit. Okay, go ahead and kick out, and I'll send you another one, okay? Okay. All right, guys. We're still trying to figure this out, but we'll get it going. I think it's because of the headphones. He probably needs to get a headphone jack in there, and you know, we'll we'll get something going here for him in just a second. I'll send him another link. Maybe it'll work better. But anyway, I mean, thank you guys for just kind of sticking around and watching our fumbles that are going on here, man. But at least you guys are understanding, what happened to him, and the things that he's experiencing there right at his house, man. I mean, it's crazy that everything's happening right there at his house, and in the general area of his house, right? And it's like, wow, how does that happen, man? And why is it so close? Believe me, in the film, I show a lot more. I show a whole lot more of the crafts that he's catching out there, right? And then last night, I think he was on, or last night he sent me some stuff, and he's been getting these diamond shaped UFOs that has been coming out lately on his film, right? And it's just hard to and it's weird because he sent me a video, and I'm going to show it to you guys here. If we can get him on, we'll figure it out in the next one. But anyway, we'll still talk about it. But he has this video, right? And it's of it's a craft that is blinking, right? And he once he starts zooming in, he gets to like 9.5, 9.8, and then once he zooms into a 10, it disappears every time. And he zooms back up to 9.9. There you see it again, and 9.8, and it goes. And he says it's like they don't want you to see this or see them, or when you're zooming in that close to it, but it's these same kind of crafts that he's catching up in the sky. And that's the hard part, man. That's the hard part, to understand how these things are working. Now, is it the camera? I don't know. Maybe not, but this is how we try to understand these things, and how it is that these things are happening to him, right? And it's hard to explain, man. It's so hard to explain of what's happening to him out there, because I have never talked to anybody that has had these kind of experiences, right? To where it's literally above your house almost daily, right? And then in the film, he talks about how these things happen in his house as well, right? Like almost like a paranormalish kind of thing. Um, and then he's suffered with a little bit of PTSD as well, you know. And it's kind of mind-boggling how these things happen. But let me see if I can show a picture here where he's got it. He's got one. So I don't know if you guys can see that. He shot that last night, and if you can see that picture right there, it's like a diamond shape UFO, right? I'm gonna try to move it around. It's like a diamond shaped UFO, and he keeps picking these up on his camera, right? Daily, these things are coming out, right? And I don't know. And then on top of that, once he starts shooting at the sun, right? He starts videoing the sun. Different. He starts seeing different things now coming through the sun, as far as like just different shapes that are coming through the sun. It's like I don't know. It's kind of hard to see, but if you kind of look in that picture, there's like little dots all in, and not the squares from the lens or anything like that, but it's just different that's inside of that sun. And these are the things he's starting to catch now, which he never caught before, right? And how do we explain these things to people without, like he said, without sounding nuts, right? We can't. We really can't. And speaking of that, all right, so I got a video here that one of a friend of mine, Tracy, she's in a few groups, has sent me. And at first, I thought it was just like a blinking light or something on top of a truck or anything like that. But she said, "Man, she lives in California." She says there's an orb there, and she goes, first it was sending me pictures, and I said, "Okay, is it just the pictures?" I said, "No, I'm going to send you a video." Sent me the video, right, which I got the video of. And I want to show you guys the video, because video is what does it justice. And I analyzed this video myself, and it's This is in California, mind you, in our backyard. So watch this and just let me know what you think, what you're seeing. Right, here we go. Do you see that? That's an orb floating there, right? Now I'm going to play this again so you guys can take another look. But when you see this orb, look behind the orb on the other side of the fence. All right. If you didn't see it, look again. Look behind the orb on the other side of the fence. You see that? Now, I don't know what to say, but that sure looks like a freaking extraterrestrial to me, standing in the background as that orb is floating there. Now, that orb is not just there; it's over here on this. She sent me pictures. It's on this side of the yard, that side of the yard, whatever. She gets these daily visitations of these things, right? But just recently, she's noticing that she started to get these extraterrestrials or whatever they are starting to get closer. Um, and I always bring up the Juanito Juan because uh, that's the guy that gets to see these things up close, and they come up to him. And now she's experiencing these things too, right? Um, yeah, I wish you could zoom in. I know. I'm going to show it one more time so you guys can see it again. Take a look at it. Just check it out, right? Now that's what you're seeing there is what I grabbed from my cell phone. They sent me the video. I zoomed it in while I recorded it again, and that's what we got out of it. So it's kind of crazy how that happened that way. And but I can hear you now with no echo, brother.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, no
Good.
echo. Right on.
I stole my wife's headphones.
Good for you. Hey, tell her we'll owe her some headphones.
Yeah, right.
Sorry. Sorry, Miss Keaton.
For real.
So anyway, let's talk about these things that you're seeing over your house daily, right?
Yeah. So one night, so this was a weirder night than usual because there's a few that I know that I've taken pictures of out front of my house, but they were a lot lower in the sky. And I didn't know they were anything yet. I was just kind of like, they look different. Maybe there's something.
Right.
I go out and I'm kind of watching them and they look like they're floating in water. And I'm like, wait a minute, maybe I'm tripping out. So I go get my neighbor that used to fly helicopters in Vietnam. He's a lawyer now. I said, hey, come out and look at this for me and check it out. And he's like, yeah, they're moving. And then there's one that's above my house. It's been there ever since I started seeing all of this. Always in the same spot. I zoom in. I think it was all the way to 100%. I take the picture. It's just the light. But I notice it's real dark around the light, a lot darker than the sky.
Right.
So I change the brightness and bam, there it is. And that one, I know I can get every night. It's in the same spot. But what I've noticed is the light that's on them,
right?
All the other diamonds I've taken pictures of, and I'm up to 7 now, I believe.
Wow.
Different diamonds in different spots. All the lights are the same. Now, when I look above my house, there's a lot of them that all look like that. And that's what I'm starting now. I'm going to take a picture of, northeast and kind of go around and go above my head. And I'm going to map it all out and see how many there actually are up there and kind of document it a little bit better than I had been.
Right. No, I mean you're doing a great job because what you've been sending us in our instant messenger, through ASDP, that how you're catching these things, and sometimes you throw the map out of the there's no aircraft in the area, things like that. How these things are just kind of showing themselves. Now, I was talking to everybody out there on the video that you have on the way these things are, right? Like how they're not showing themselves as far as like once you get to 9 or whatever, it's not there anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me show this first. This is one of the crafts that you caught out there in San Antonio. I guess this was a couple of days ago, maybe. And let's go ahead and show that real quick. It's about 32 seconds long. All right, tell us a little bit about when was this and how do you caught this?
So, actually, me and Annabelle were talking the other day about the diamond thing.
Okay.
And he wanted a video of what it was. And that's the one that's above my house.
Okay.
And you can kind of tell, the camera doesn't do it justice. When you're looking at it with your eyes, it changes a whole bunch of color, blue, red, yellow. It's a lot of colors. And you can see when it flickers, it almost goes almost completely out. And then it gets extremely bright. It's just, it doesn't look right. So that's when Annabelle actually went in and did the
analysis,
the conversion of it. And you can see how that little light is moving.
Okay.
And it's doing and changing shapes.
Wow. Well, let's show that since we have the analysis of it. So let's check this out. Yeah. Yeah, you could see the EMF on it.
Mm-hmm. And you can notice too that when I'm filming it, it skips.
Right.
And they'll when I go to take pictures of whatever these diamond things are, I'll put it on the tripod so a lot more steady, and they'll jump across the screen and not move in the sky, but in the camera, it'll jump. It's strange. And it takes me 4 or 5 shots to get one still enough to actually get the diamond to pull out of it.
Right.
I've had pictures where I take pictures of what I know is the diamond that's up there, and I go to adjust the picture, and the whole picture is pixelated, like something was screwing with it.
Wow.
But, it could be just the camera too, so.
Yeah, I mean, you got a really nice camera. I know that's for sure. But it's still, I mean, you just never know what the electronic magnetic fields on these things, man, are just kind of they go nuts.
And you can see the circle around the diamond in the diamond pictures. Right.
And I'm gonna show this picture real quick. There it is. I don't know if you can see. This is the one you just that blue one at the center of the screen right there.
Mhm.
That's one of them that you've caught. And it's
and
just,
I've got that diamond there. I've actually got it in 2 shots where one, the light is red, and the other, the light is blue. So it goes to show that it's changing color.
Wow. Wow. What time of day do these things are more active?
At night, from the minute it gets dark till, when it gets light in the day, and they sit in the same spot and they don't move very much. They just sit there.
Wow.
And they look like there's some that are lower in altitude, but you can tell that there's some up higher just because of how dim they are.
Right.
I've taken a picture of one further away. The light blocked out the whole bottom of the diamond, but you can still see the top part.
Wow. Are you experiencing any kind of like weird, any more weird stuff that's happening in your house ever since we left?
About a week ago now, I woke up out of a dead sleep, and in the corner of my bedroom, about the size of my fist, was a ball of light. And as soon as I woke up, it flew out the back wall.
Oh, crap.
I've had some stuff happen with like feeling vibrations, especially when I lay down to go to sleep. I feel like vibrations. Ears ringing, just the normal stuff like that. Nothing too crazy.
Wow. So have you, I mean, you haven't had any more paralysis kind of stuff like that when you're asleep, anything like that?
No, nothing like that.
Okay. I know you
dreams,
explained it.
I have dreams, some weird dreams.
Yeah.
I've had some dreams of like like the world ending in a bad way, stuff blowing up and stuff like that, but nothing, no paralysis or anything like that.
Well, um, and that's the part that everybody needs to understand when they see. I showed the part of you in the film already, when you start explaining about these things that you catch up in the sky. It's some people already bought them the movie because they loved it and they wanted to see it again. And because your story is amazing, man. It's not just somebody that's talking crap, because you're seeing these things every freaking day, man.
Every day.
Every day, man, like clockwork. And then on top of that, you have friends that are around you. I mean, you're ex-military, and there's friends around you that are probably still in the military or whatever, but and they see these things and then they can like, I didn't see that, or I don't want to see that, right?
Mhm.
They have that kind of thing about that, right? I mean, is it because of the because of what where they're at, you know what I mean, at a point in their life that they don't want to lose that part,
I
like.
think more people are actually seeing it. I think they're scared to come out and say something. Like the other day, I posted one of the diamond pictures on the Dr. Greer support group deal, and
Right.
I had never seen so many rude people, in a row, and I'm like, you weren't there to begin with. Most of these people aren't photo experts. They just people don't want to get that crazy name tossed at them just
Right.
because they're seeing something. And I'm hoping that people like me that can come out and say that believe what your eyes are seeing. There's something there. Don't be scared to come out. There's more good people than there are bad. I think that's one good thing about this whole process. I've met some pretty cool individuals through this whole process, and I've learned a lot. But as soon as people come out of their shell and are able to talk a little bit more without the fear of being shunned or being called crazy, I think they'll come out a little bit more.
And that's true. That is a true statement. Uh, just kind of expressing what you've seen to some people. And now I think more people are starting to embrace the ufology part of it now, because we've talked about it before. It's all in the government. It's already starting to say, okay, yeah, well, there's something out there. We just don't know what it is. Yeah, this thing, yeah, moved from 50,000 feet to 1 foot above the water in a split second. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what it is, right? But we have it on film. Um, so I think that's what kind of got the people to get them to understand a little bit better about people that do see these things and not call them crazy or try to make fun of them. Now we all know there's trolls out there, brother.
Mm-hmm.
There's trolls on every one of these groups. I don't care, but the thing is about a lot of those support groups, and if they're not monitoring those trolls, they shouldn't even have that page,
Yep.
because that we monitor our pages like vigilant. You know what I mean? If we see somebody start talking crap, you're out.
Yeah.
We get rid of you. We take you off as many groups as possible.
It should be a safe place. It takes a lot to say something about it. At first I didn't want to, I didn't want to, but somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to kind of, keep it going, because it'll get lost if you don't.
Right.
But, we need to encourage each other and kind of teach each other how to do this, because we can learn a lot. I only can do so much, going through the chats and stuff and being able to talk to Annabelle and, Terry, and he puts his input in there, and, you can kind of take a little bit from everyone and kind of mold it into your own and keep learning. But, people aren't going to do that if they don't feel comfortable coming out at all.
Exactly. And that's what these groups are for, like you said, Alien Strand Disclosure Project. And if anybody wants to join Alien Strand Disclosure Project, please answer all the questions, man. Answer all the freaking questions, because if you don't answer them all, we can't let you in. But I mean, just be sure you do that, so that way we can all talk and then Ryan's on there. Everybody's on these pages, man. And to be able to talk to him or Anibal or Chris Hamill or Terry Lynch or anybody that you see on the films, right? They're all there, man. And we're they don't try to be like celebrities or anything like that. You just want to get your story out, man, and just show people, hey, these things are real. There's things out there like this, some are
It's just
good.
like Robert, man. I still talk to Rob. Robert's been getting some really really crazy stuff over the past few weeks. You know, it's funny. Even Annabelle was saying it in the chat that we're all seeing different stuff now. It's all increased in activity, and it's different shape craft, and it's not just one of us that's experiencing that. It's all of us.
Exactly.
So it's nice to go somewhere and be like, hey, are you guys seeing the same thing, or, you know, am I just losing it? You know, it's good to be able to go in there and talk through stuff and make sure that, you know, you're still there and you're still trying to learn and keep it going. But that's what I love about you guys is, you know, it seems like almost, yeah, at any time, at least one person's in there to talk to.
Yeah, that's true. Because they connect with you right away, like they know how you're feeling, or they're experiencing the same things you're experiencing, and sometimes we leave you all alone. If you guys start once, I noticed that in our chats that once you guys start talking, I back off, everybody backs off and lets y'all talk. You know what I mean? Because that way you can kind of you know, put the two and two together, or if you got, you know, if you're doing an investigation, maybe it'll work out better that way. You know, instead of us putting our input in and kind of confusing the situation, right? And I think sometimes it's best that way too, you know, unless, you know, we have something to contribute to the thing as well.
I think rule number one about this whole UFO deal is it's not going to be one person that solves it. It's going to be a group of us. You know, it's going to take a group of us to get on a path to figure this stuff out. It's not going to be one person. It's strength in numbers, especially when it comes to this, because the more people you have seeing it, the more reports you get. You know, the more people are seeing things, the more of a norm it comes, and then people come around and they start opening their eyes and seeing it also. So it's going to take time, but I think we're on the right track.
Exactly. Yeah, we are on the right track. I believe so. And you know, with people like you and then everybody out there, you know, now, so you said that when you go live, do you go at a certain time, or is it just anything like that?
Lately, it's been about 9 o'clock, between 9 and 9:15. Usually go for anywhere from 35, 45 minutes. I mean, if it gets real busy, we've done 2-3 hour streams before.
Wow.
Yeah, so it just depends. The weather has a lot to do with it. Especially if the clouds roll in, they hide really easily in the clouds. So I usually try to post on the page before I go live. But it can be pretty crazy at times. We've seen some pretty crazy stuff.
Wow. And yeah, because I mean, when I'm watching you, these things are just like right
they're all over the place.
All over the place, man. And that's why when I see you come on now, I mean, it's strange because we were talking about this earlier behind the scenes before we came on live, that, you know, when he goes on live, sometimes it almost seems like there's nobody watching, but sometimes we think that they kind of shut us down a little bit so you guys don't see what's going on, right? And, you know,
Whitley Strieber comes in my stream quite often.
Oh, nice.
Through John, I know a gentleman he in the early 90s. He was real big into UFOs and stuff, and I linked up with him before I met y'all, and we did a podcast with Whitley, and he comes out every now and then and he'll comment and stuff and talk with everybody.
Wow. Well, that's good, man. I mean, I seen his blogs and stuff on his webpage, because you kind of shared that with me a little bit, so I was able to see that as well, and I was like, wow, at least he's out there, you know, talking with people, not just because he's a celebrity. He really is, you know, he's just really a good celebrity, but not very many celebrities or whatever mingle in with the people. But I think he's doing it because of the disclosure that comes along with it, right?
He lives here in San Antonio.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know where, but I know he's from here and grew up here, and then I guess he went to New York and did all that other stuff up there. But he's a really nice guy.
Wow. Well, that's good. I know I showed this video last week, but I want to show it again, and I know you saw it, Ryan. But I just love this video, man, and I have to show it, man. It's just that one of the French people and that UFO just flies over them. So let's just go and watch that again, because people, if you haven't seen this, if you're watching today, you got to see this. Check this out.
C'est quoi ce truc? C'est quoi ce truc? Maman, viens voir.
C'est quoi l'histoire?
Ben regarde là-haut. Ah. Ben, je sais pas. C'est quoi ce truc là? Bordel. Mais ça bouge? Putain, mais ça, c'est pas le bordel. Oh!
Aïe.
Attends. Alors.
Trop bizarre.
Ouais.
Aïe.
Oh putain.
That's just crazy, man.
They're not hiding, bro. I'm telling you, everywhere I go, it's insane.
Yeah, and that almost looks like the color that we saw over there when we were filming you that day or
Yeah,
that night, and it was only like what, about 8 o'clock at night or 7:30.
yeah, it had just gotten dark.
Yeah, when we saw something like that. I mean, when you see something like that up close with your own eyes, you're not looking it through because a camera lens, like you said, these cameras sometimes they don't do it justice.
No.
Unless you got a really, really good, whatever kind of camera. But even our cameras were struggling because it was kind of dark out there. But to catch something like that, like literally fly over you and then do some somersaults and take off like that, man, that's just nuts. It's crazy.
Once I get a bigger group together, I'm going to try to get a skywatch together because that's one of the main things I say on live is what I'm seeing with my eyes and what I know you see on camera. It does no justice. If you were here and saw how the light was blinking in and out, like the diamond things, and saw how it flickered and how the light is,
right,
you would know it's not right. Humans have been here for however long they've been here, thousands and thousands of years. So it's in your mind and your body what should be up there. And I think, as time goes on, you get used to what's up there. So when something changes, it's just something in your gut. You just know something's not right. And that's a lot of the feeling I get when I go out and I start looking at these things and I start looking and it doesn't look right. It doesn't look real. Something's not right here. And that's the whole part of going out and doing this is trying to find an answer. And then in the meantime, you get some pretty cool pictures out of it.
Wow. Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard to tell people what they're seeing, if they're not really seeing it out there. You have to literally, like you said, do a Skywatch group where they can go out there. If you live in San Antonio and you want to reach out to Ryan or he's going to get this thing together, and then that way you can get a group of people out there and they can all witness these things together. And so that way, like you said, with a group of people makes more of a difference than one person because, that way they can say, hey man, I'm not wearing a tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Like the video, I just showed the video of the extraterrestrial with the orb, right, a little while ago while you were off, and people were telling that person that they were crazy. That you're nuts. You're not, you're not quite right in the head. But look at the video I just showed. Right, they have the video of the orb floating there, the extraterrestrial standing in the background, but they're supposed to be crazy, right?
Mm-hmm. That's how it goes.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, right? Like how people can actually think that way, that this person, whatever they're going through, and then I've talked about this at the very beginning and podcast before, but it almost brings your spirit down in a sense. It makes you kind of sad because it's like, man, I'm trying to express myself. I'm trying to show people what I'm seeing. I know I'm not freaking crazy. And then when I do this, some folks knock me down, and then they don't want to come out. They don't want to come out anymore, right? Because they're afraid of that same backlash. It's horrible.
I think the best advice you can get during this is believe what your eyes are seeing. I think all the rest of it will kind of fall into place as soon as people get to see your pictures. And that's kind of how it started for me is I just started putting my stuff out there. And then, I met you, I met some really good people that are experiencing the same thing I am. And that's what you really need to find is that group that knows what you're talking about. They don't make you feel crazy because they experience it themselves. And, hopefully she gets into a spot where she can get that. And,
right.
And it'll help her out tremendously. So,
yeah. And I've seen a couple of her videos, at broad daylight, man, or you can see these things even in the afternoon, just like you're around dusk or whatever. You can see these things clear as day, and I don't know how people can just treat a person like that, not thinking that these things are not real or they are real. And I do get it. It does. like when you first saw these things, did it? I know you got overexcited and things like that, and then it made you kind of want to hunt these things, like to try to find the answers, right? Like
Yeah,
almost like I'm not gonna say obsession, but it
it's
can.
there. It could
It's,
be there. I,
yeah,
I I took a break there for a few months because if I didn't, I was gonna go crazy.
right.
You start looking at this stuff flying in the sky, and there's been some pretty strange things that have happened, but you try to find an answer for it, and you're just like, I can't find an answer, and you just keep pushing harder and harder and harder, and finally you just you have to step away, or it'll drive you to the nut house.
Yeah,
It really will.
exactly. Yeah, it will. And I'm just glad, like I said, there's people that support you out there, and then myself supports you, and everybody out there of what you're doing, because it's not easy to do these things, right? And then, of course, work a regular job like we all do. We all have regular jobs or whatever, and without people saying, "Man, what's going on with this dude? Is there something wrong? Something wrong?"
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But
I've gotten to a point now where you call me crazy. I'm whatever. I really don't care. You're more than welcome to come over here. I'll show you.
yeah,
But I don't even listen to them anymore.
yeah. I mean, I don't either, because I have people too that kind of look at me kind of strange at the same time, because I've been doing this for such a long time. And then when my wife talks to some people, friends of hers, and, oh, what did your husband do? Well, he makes documentaries. About what? Extraterrestrial. He wrote a book about what? Extraterrestrials. It's like, but now most of them are like, wow, that's cool. I want to follow him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because everybody's kind of into that now.
It's slowly changing, I believe.
Yeah, I believe the acceptance is there now to where people can do that. But you know what? I'm just glad that you're still doing it, brother. And it's just, how can people find you other than where you go?
Well, I have my Facebook 210 UFO. I have a TikTok 210 UFO. And then that's it. I don't have a YouTube or anything right now. I'm not in this to make money. I just like sharing what I get. And if you want help or you need assistance in anything, any of us are more than welcome to help. So all you got to do is ask. Don't be afraid to ask. We don't mind at all.
Exactly. We love to help, actually. A lot of people do reach out to me as well. And they get a little upset with me because sometimes I don't get to answer right away, and then they say, I'm not going to be your friend no more. But I don't do it on purpose. And like I tell them, I said, look, there's you guys too that are part of ASDP. We have you, we have who's that? Danelle, we have Anibal, a bunch of people, Cindy Grigsby, Chris Hamill. Everybody's
We
out
probably all need to come on here more and talk more with you, because they see
Yeah.
you a lot, so you kind
Right.
of get that trust, kind of from them seeing you. They've never seen me, but in a video, and they don't really get to see what the kind of person I am. So maybe we all need to jump on here at some point, kind of introduce ourselves, and maybe it'll make people feel more welcome.
That's a true statement. I didn't even think about it that way, but yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, and I think, and I was thinking about that too, kind of like maybe get some other people in the film, and just whoever wants to come on and just kind of talk about it. But has your family seen the film as well?
Yeah, everyone's seen it. They love it. John saw it up there. I'm trying to get everyone to buy it and go watch it, even if they don't like it or not. I don't really care. Just watch it. Give it a 10 at the end.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's true. Give us some thumbs up, stars, go to your Amazon Prime, and just say, hey, I loved it, because it's and really, in reality, I think it's a very good disclosure documentary. It's not about the money, and it's not about anything like that, because we never recover anything that we put into things like that. But
No.
what I try to do is I try to help as many people, because it's strange, because I talked about this a couple of days ago, that when I was on somebody else's podcast, and once they saw the film, it's like they had a bunch of questions for me, because they had experienced the same things. And it was with the middle part too. Right. And that was the eye opener for a lot of people so far that have seen the middle part too, that they've all sort of kind of experienced the same things you went through, and the other people as well.
Mm-hmm. We're all just normal people. We're no one special. Me and Robert talk about this all the time. Why are we seeing this stuff? We're nobody special. it's just something that happened. So we just got to take it and run with it.
Yeah, exactly. And just keep on giving disclosure, man. That's what it's about, because one day I think that we'll, finally figure out what these things really wanted, or what is it exactly, what's their agenda is, and why only showing themselves to a certain amount of people, and why do this to some folks one way or another. But I think one day we will find out exactly why, these things happen. But Ryan, thank you, brother, for being on the show today. I know
Thank you, bro.
I know we had some technical difficulties. Hey, but now we know.
I know.
Hey, get the headphones. Put them in your pocket. Put it somewhere else. Say you lost them.
Right?
I'm kidding. She gonna say, I don't want that man in my house. He owes me some headphones.
Y'all are fun.
All right, brother. Thank you for being on the show tonight. I will point people your way. I'll throw some links onto your pages on there after this podcast is done. And like I said, keep doing what you're doing, man. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. I'll see y'all later.
Okay, have a good one.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. All right, guys. I hope you guys. I know it was a little difficult at the beginning, but we got it. We actually got it now. And it was he needed some headphones. That's all it was. So hopefully, you guys learned a little bit today and got something out of Ryan, and just kind of hear it for himself, of what the things that he experienced with all these craps that he's catching around in San Antonio, Texas, believe it or not. That's exactly where we shot a lot of the footage right there. That's where we shot it, because it was happening. That happened in real time. Everything happened in real time. And I'm glad it did. And that was when we stood there for like 2 or 3 hours at first, 2 hours, because we couldn't see very much stuff that was happening. He was seeing these things because he was so used to it, but he finally said, man, I don't know if these things are going to come out. I told him, I said, just walk over there, concentrate a little bit, maybe ask them if they can come out. And after he did that, bam, that's when they showed up. And that's kind of strange that I say it that way, but that's exactly what happened. And I wish we could have caught that on film when I said that, but it's okay, because you were still able to get the disclosure out of it out there. Anibal, thank you. Danielle, thank you. David Nash, thank you, brother, for being out there. Everybody that was watching tonight, it's let's see. Oh, Mr. Rathbun was out there. That's right. So he'll be out. He'll be on the third film. So he'll be out there. Tasha Cantu, thank you for purchasing the film. I really appreciate it. As she says, I'm going to purchase it again. I hope you do. I hope it made an impact in your life somewhat, just to see what was happening to these folks. And what is happening is real. It's exactly real. It's exactly what it is. I hope you guys appreciate this podcast. I'm sorry we had some technical difficulties, but now we know, and I hope he puts those headphones in his pocket for next time, right? Because that's what I would do. That's what I would do. But hey, guys, I'm glad that you guys stuck around. But you know what? Sometimes things happen for a reason, right? Things do happen for a reason, and I'm glad that you guys were sticking around and helping me with the echo and all that good stuff. But at least you got to get more disclosure, and we got to see a little bit, and you got to talk to him a little bit. So next time we're gonna have another person from ASTP is going to be on this podcast, and I'll give it a surprise. Right, it'll be a surprise for you guys. And then we'll chit chat. So that way you guys know exactly what's happening in their area. We'll see their videos as well. And that way that what we're doing out here is full freaking disclosure, because that's what it's about. Full freaking disclosure. So I guess I hope you guys watch the next one, and it should be just as good as this one, because I really enjoyed it. But until then, you guys have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good evening. Have yourselves a good night. Have a good one. We'll see you in the next one.